You're listening to the Last Man In podcast. Covering Winnipeg hockey and the NHL.
Scheifele dances his way in. Scheifele scores! Blake Wheeler finds the far corner. And the Winnipeg Jets win it in overtime.
Welcome back to No News Tuesdays, everyone.
No News Tuesdays, coming to you live from a basement in Winnipeg.
Where we recap what happened on Wednesday and Thursday of last week, because let's be honest, nothing happens from Saturday to Tuesday.
And I have a story that's going to prove that.
It's going to prove it.
Well, okay, Fox Sports put out Fox Sports.
Before that,
in
Last
the
Man In
States.
podcast,
Yeah.
episode 108.
Doing
Dan,
it today.
Cam, and Greg. And today we've
And
got
your phone.
lots of stuff to talk about.
Silence.
Sorry I'm popular. It's just my mom,
So
actually.
Fox Sports.
Fox Sports in America, FoxSports.com, put out a very brief article today saying a source within the Winnipeg Jets has told them that they are going to announce their new captain tomorrow, Wednesday, the day after the podcast.
August 30th.
Yeah.
31st.
However, no one within the Jets has confirmed this. No reporters for the Jets have confirmed it. The Jets haven't said they're going to have a press conference announcement. But what is tomorrow? August 31st.
Hold on. Do you know this?
Yeah, you told me on the way in.
Oh, damn it. It's Blake Wheeler's 30th birthday.
Just saying.
They missed an opportunity not naming captain last year. Oh, no, wait. No, next year they'll have to name him captain. 31st birthday, champagne birthday. You know what happens on your champagne birthday when you can drink legally?
You get whatever what do you mean drink illegally?
Drink legally. Well, if you're three, if your birthday is the 3rd of the month and you're 3, you're definitely not having champagne for your fucking birthday.
Yes, you sure can.
You get whatever you want on your champagne birthday.
Yes.
That's what I was told.
Yeah.
I asked for a bicycle.
You get a free
I got
pass.
a bicycle.
I got a kick in the nuts.
So alas, this article, this is not like no source has confirmed that this is going to happen.
We cannot confirm or deny.
But if it happens tomorrow,
Hey, but it's
we
news
told
on
you
Tuesday,
so.
guys. It's news on Tuesday.
News on Tuesday that's going to happen on Wednesday.
It's at least something.
It won't even happen now.
We have a big show planned, though. Trust me. All the things that happened last week after the last podcast. So we know that something's going to happen Wednesday and Thursday. Now.
That could be
Go
it.
ahead. Yeah. Let's go. Let's hear it.
No. What?
Oh, I thought you were going to read the article.
Oh no, there is no article.
Oh.
It literally just the article from Fox Sports literally said a source from the Winnipeg Jets has told us they're naming a new captain tomorrow.
Oh,
And
okay.
it said Scheifele, Wheeler.
Would we be considered sources if someone contacted us because we
know.
technically live here? Like, is that what?
It almost seemed more like a
What's
blog
the line
post,
of being? Yeah.
but it was actually on FoxSports.com. So I don't
What's
know.
the line of being a source? Like, how do you become a source? What is a source?
Are we sure there wasn't the New York Jets naming a player named Wheeler captain?
Unless they have a Scheifele, Bufflin, Little, Myers, and Laine that they all mentioned in the article, then no.
I'm just teasing.
That'd be pretty funny though if they had the whole line.
You know who they do have, though? They have a Ryan Fitzpatrick as their goal.
That is true. He
Are
makes
we
a
talking
lot
about
of money.
quarterbacks specifically?
Well,
today
yeah,
on
because
purpose?
of course. Because you know what happens?
What's
when
the verdict? What happened to him?
I'll let you know. When the NHL doesn't deliver you news on a Tuesday, NFL can. Teddy Bridgewater, the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings, has a dislocated knee and an ACL tear. Timetable, long term.
ACL
Dan?
tear, like how bad?
Yeah, they said it was significant.
Then he's probably done for the year.
Well, like,
Is he getting surgery?
The exact TSN Sports says, update at Vikings say, at Teddy Bridgewater, incurred a dislocated knee, dislocated knee and torn ACL in practice. Recovery time is significant.
Yeah. 6 months at least, probably. If it's torn, if it's torn and he's getting surgery,
So the
6
season.
probably more like a year. He probably went back for like a calendar year.
You know what's great? Is at least my quarterback on the team that I like the most. The team that I'm supporting.
Yeah, Matt Ryan. On
Yeah.
The Jacksonville
awful
Jaguars?
Falcons. Oh yeah, wait, yeah. What's
Whoa.
What?
Jacksonville Jaguars are my AFC team.
Oh,
Because of
yeah, you play
Blakey
this game?
Bortleman,
Blakey Bortleman. Okay.
AR-15.
I don't know what AR-15 is.
Allen Robinson.
Okay.
He wears 15.
Okay.
And
Who's number
Allen
20
Hurts.
on that team?
I don't know.
How about 56?
I don't know.
Dante Fowler. You should know these.
I should know
answers.
that, actually. Nonetheless, my quarterback can at least stay healthy. Or the
He can
quarterback
stay
there.
healthy. Yeah, he's real good at finishing games and all that.
No, he is good at finishing games.
Very
It's
good
just
at
it's
finishing
just the
games.
third quarter that.
Very good at finishing
What-
games. He's so good at finishing games.
Sorry, what happened last year when you?
That was the kicker. How do you not blame? Why you shitting me?
I'm not blaming Teddy Bridgewater. I'm just wondering what happened in that game.
They lost.
Exactly. On to hockey.
I have another interesting article if you guys want to talk about it.
Let's do it.
It was a really slow day, but it's an interesting.
Give us a spark note. What is it?
There's some math in this article.
Go.
Travis Yost, he's
I was gonna talk about that.
the stats guy for TSN. He came up with an
Great
algorithm.
article.
He came up with an algorithm. His question was what's the best way to actively predict who the top scorers in the league will be for an upcoming season. And he said they can look at points per 60 minutes, 5-on-5, or there's a bunch of different variables that could correlate. He
Goals
has
per
found
60.
He's found he took two variables, combined them together, and did a projection of what the top scorers would be in the NHL this coming year, based on, I think, the last 9 seasons. Their stats from the last 9 seasons or something. He tried to, I guess he said if you do one variable versus the other, they can be very discriminative towards players who play different amounts of time or play in different situations. Anyway, so he combined points per 60 minutes, 5-on-5, plus Corsi 4.
By the way,
Relative Corsi 4 per 60 minutes, which is the amount of shots a team gets while certain players on the ice per 60 minutes.
when that player's off the ice as well.
Yes.
To mark that. So what he was trying to determine was what the best predictor was, as Dan said. I literally just read this before I came here, so I was gonna bring it up on the podcast. So obviously we all think generally it's gonna be points per 60. He was very surprised to find such a very close correlation between Corsi and points per 60. They were, I think points per 60 were 255 and Corsi was at 245 or something like that. Like, it was a very close comparison. So we took the two variables and then did what with it?
He projected the top 20 scorers next year in the league. I guess this is points per game, or points per 60 minutes next year. I'll do top 5 and then some notables. Number 1, Connor McDavid. Number 2, Blake Wheeler.
Wow.
Number 3, Mark Scheifele.
Okay, whatever.
Connor McDavid, 2.22 points per 60. Blake Wheeler, 2.2 points per 60. This is 5-on-5.
Yeah.
Mark Scheifele, 2.18. 4 is Jaromir Jagr, 5 is Sidney Crosby. There's no Jamie Benn or Tyler Seguin in this list.
Because they score 5-on-4 a lot.
Patrick
Same
Kane.
with Ovechkin.
Patrick Kane is 17th. There's no Ovechkin either.
Probably no Giroux either, because he
Nope.
scores a lot of points on power
No
play.
Giroux.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'll just do it quickly. So from 5 down, Joe Thornton, Max Pacioretty, Brendan Gallagher, Brad Marchand, Evgeny Kuznetsov, Vladimir Tarasenko, UC Jokinen, Jason Spezza, Taylor Hall, Tyler Toffoli, Thomas Hertel, Patrick Kane, Joe Pavelski, Mike Camilleri, John Tavares at 20.
Okay. One correlation I'm going to make it with about 14 of those players, they are younger players. So the NHL is trending in a very good direction, which is positive. And on the note of scoring, it came out today, or at least recently, that it looks like the pad change will not take effect until the 2017-18 series season, because they do not have all the gear properly made for this year. So this new goaltending change to gear their equipment to be smaller will not take effect this year. Their whole effort in this is to increase scoring every year because they feel that scoring is low in the NHL. And has been low since the 90s. As we all know what the high-flying 80s were like because we were there.
Mm-hmm.
Plot twist, none of us were there for that.
Yeah.
None
Not one of us.
No. We can watch videos, though, on VHS.
Yes.
We have to rewind stuff.
So essentially what this article, to me, what I get out of it, these are the top 25-on-5 point producers in the NHL.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I get. That's why guys like Ben, Seguin, Ovechkin, who get a lot of points on the power play,
Aren't there?
Giroux
Gets
as
love.
well. Yeah.
We know how shitty the Jets' power play is, so
Very true.
the guys have to get their points somehow. 5-on-5. That's how it is.
No kidding.
I think the other thing that it's kind of reflective of is how much a team will rely on a certain player a lot. So you see guys like Ben Crosby's a different story. Guys like Ben and Sagan and Ovechkin, these guys play big minutes. They play 20-ish minutes a game. And this is the other reason why you won't see any defensemen on this list. They're relied for these big moments to score a big goal, whatever it might be. Whereas you have guys like McDavid, who obviously it's a smaller sample size, but he wasn't playing 20 minutes a game. He was playing more like 16, 15, and he was putting up tremendous numbers. It's the same with Blake Wheeler and Mark Scheifele. Because of the fact that Jets are so deep, they run 4 lines, and they don't really overplay that top line, where you'll see Ovechkin. One of his biggest problems with points per 60 is he plays both lines on the power play. So then what will happen is what will happen is he'll be left on then for the 2 minutes, then the penalty's over, then he's out there for another 45 seconds without his line. Obviously they try to not have that happen, but it happens. So those kind of things where he's not put in the opportune places to score. The one guy I'm most surprised about on that list is Brad Marchand, because not only do I think he's a great talent, I just didn't realize, I thought he was more of a defensive zone starting guy, and then he drives the play out of his zone and then creates shots that way. But obviously he scores points, and his points per 60 are very good. But it's actually funny. I browsing Twitter today at work, and I saw 2 separate tweets from Steve Dangle, who's one of the people that I admire the most in the hockey world. Travis Yost is another guy who I very much look up to and admire to and aspire to be, especially journalist-wise. Then it's one guy who's a fan of the Winnipeg Jets, and so they both talked about hockey analytics. So Steve Dangle was kind of quoting this article he read from, the worst guy in a bar is the analytics guy, the guy that talks about analytics to kind of trump arguments. And then this guy on Twitter asked the question, he's like, what's the best predictor? Is it pure just eye test of hockey? I'm prefacing, obviously, paraphrasing. Is it eye test of hockey, or is it stats? What's the best determining of an actual of hockey? And I think it's one thing that we're noticing now. I think it's a combination of both more than anything else. I think it's driving itself away from just being, okay, I think this player looks good, to what are his stats underneath just what the points are. We got to look at numbers outside of hockey. And I honestly tell anybody, follow Travis Yost if you have a chance. Read his articles if you have a chance. They're always interesting reads. I learned so much about the game of hockey, and if you're a hockey fan, you can only benefit from it. Even if you're not on the side of analytics and side of I like analytics, it's something to even just get you upset because analytics are that way. But just broaden your mind.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to say, just if we're on the Jets, one last note. They released last week top 50 players. Blake Wheeler's 45th, Buff was 42, and out of the defensemen, Buff ranked 12th out of the top 20D. Just want to point out a certain young defenseman, soon to be Vezina, not Vezina, Norris.
Ivan Provorov.
Back to back. Not only Ivan Provorov, it wasn't him. It was Ghost Bear.
Oh, okay.
They're going to be switching off every second year.
They're
going to flip a coin.
Okay.
I guess I'll get it back to back this year. Get it back to back. Ghost is 18.
So here's my question. 18th, overall.
Out of 20.
Okay.
For defensemen.
Where did Blake Wheeler finish last year in scoring? Was he was inside top 10, correct?
Yeah, I think he was tied for sixth with a couple other guys.
I understand that this is goalies, forwards, and defensemen. I would have a hard-pressed time naming 45 players better than Blake Wheeler. You're telling or 44 players better than Blake Wheeler, which is essentially
But this goes goalie, defense.
Yeah, I understand that.
This is the whole shebang.
I understand that. I have a hard time naming one player on every team that's I think I'd have a hard time naming one player on every team that's better than Blake Wheeler.
On every team?
On one player per team that's better than him. Just one. I know there's teams like Chicago that obviously have Taves and Kane. You have teams like Philadelphia who probably have Voracek and Giroux on that list along with Ghost Bear. Then you've got teams like Pittsburgh who've got 3 in there.
But then you go to teams like Carolina where you're not picking anyone off this.
Carolina, Columbus, Florida. I guess you could put Luongo in there.
I would even... I thought Ekblad.
Ekblad, okay.
But then
who do you
the
take on?
Factor.
It's hard to compare a D and a forward.
Yeah, no, that's what... Yeah,
Who do you take on Vancouver?
Over
Better
Wheeler?
than Blake
No,
Wheeler?
Better than Blake Wheeler.
I don't put anybody on Calgary, Vancouver. Okay, it's hard to bet against McDavid. He's only played a year, but it's hard to bet against. Over the long run, he'll be a better player.
Other than Carlson, who's better than him on the Sens? No one. Other than Price.
Toronto, probably no one.
No one. Well, we haven't seen Matthews, so it's hard. But that's what I'm saying.
No one
is,
as of right now.
Do you think that he is fairly rated at 45?
No, I don't think
I think he's underrated because of the team and the market he plays for.
So if he was New York, he would be a top 10 projected player.
I wouldn't say top 10, but
Here's
he'd
my-
definitely be top half.
Wait, whoa.
Top 25 for sure.
Other than
Well,
Henrik
I
Lundqvist,
don't
is
know.
there a better player than him
On the Rangers?
on the Rangers? Jimmy Vesey, boom, lock it in. Just kidding.
You know what? I thought for a
Potentially.
moment, I'm like Derek Stepan, but I'm like, no, I'd still take Wheeler.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's, obviously I'm not trying to shit on any of these players because they all are deserving.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is that
He was 6th
Who-
in scoring last year. Or even
who made the list?
He was fourth in scoring.
it was a big list.
He was fourth in scoring when the All-Star teams were announced, and he didn't even make it.
But who made the list?
like
or
all 50.
Who designed it?
Oh,
like-
TSN.
Okay, so TSN
No,
made
it's
this list.
NHL.com.
Or was it?
Oh, it was NHL.
Okay,
My bad.
nonetheless.
TSN would probably have him higher.
Okay, so
They're Canadian and
NHL.com
they follow Canada.
made this list, and doesn't it speak something of the NHL when they can say, let's make a list of the top 50 players, and the 6th best scorer last year makes it 45, means that the talent, and I said it with the last article, the talent in the league is pretty damn good. And I think the state of the league is not in as much peril as I think other people would like us to believe.
If you want my opinion, he should be higher than Bufflin.
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly.
But America, Dustin Bufflin's he's well known in the States. He's when you ask someone who's plays for the Winnipeg Jets, Andrew Ladd, Dustin Bufflin. That's what they know because that's all that gets. That's all the media. The media attention's just not there. That's why a Jet's going to be hard pressed to ever win a big trophy. Unless a Jet wins the scoring title outright, they're never getting anywhere close to nominated, I don't think. And that's why a guy's 3rd or 4th in the league in scoring and he gets snubbed from the All-Star game.
Yeah, it's because of Bufflin's attitude, right?
But I'm talking about Wheeler. Media picks the All-Star, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, there's no media attention on Winnipeg because there's a small town. And there's no American media attention. Canada-wide, we get covered. But in America,
no one gives a shit about us.
No
Even though they are missing out on a really big opportunity with the fact that the Central Division's so strong and the fact that Winnipeg's probably going to be not being biased here, probably going to be in the top 5 Western teams going forward here at the latter half of this decade.
I just want to say the players in between Buff and Wheeler. I'll just name them just real quick here. Wheeler's 45, Buff is 42. Number 44, John Klingberg. And number 43, Brent Seabrook.
Okay.
If you're given a choice of just those 3, Wheeler, Seabrook, Klingberg, I think confidently I would say 7 out of the 10 times Wheeler would be picked first.
Yeah. Obviously, we don't know the criteria that they made the list with, but it's like John Klingberg has done it for 2 years. Wheeler has done it for 6. Or for 5, sorry. His 5 years in Winnipeg, he has been the guy and has gotten better every year.
This is the write-up of the criteria.
Okay.
Okay, so they're ranking top 50 players in the league. NHL Network researchers, producers, and on-air personalities compiled the list, taking into account players coming back from injury, younger players expected to break out, and veterans with a proven track record. That's it.
So what you've
This
done
is
or what
all-
you could do is more important than what you did.
That's essentially what they're saying. You want me to find you number 1 on this list, or do we all know it's Crosby?
It's Crosby. Where's McDavid ranked on that list? I'm actually curious because...
Get there. Give me a minute.
Can we all just agree now that the NHL is going to put Crosby more towards the back? This is not negative on McDavid or Crosby, but can we all agree that they're going to kind of put Crosby on the back burner and now bring McDavid as the next generational player?
Slowly.
Oh, wow. McDavid, number 21
Okay.
on this list.
Who is number 2?
Who's number 2?
Carey Price?
They haven't even actually released the rest of it yet.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
but McDavid's 21.
Okay, if you had to put your top 5 players...
Lundqvist is 28.
Okay, if you had to put your top 5 players, who would they be?
In the league?
In the league.
And we're talking impact and
So
everything.
you're telling me Mark Scheifele might still be on that list?
No, he didn't crack it at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the Jets only had 2 guys. Well, sorry. He might be in the top 20. They haven't released the top 20 yet.
But we don't know that. If you have to pick your top 5, who do you go with?
Me?
Yeah.
Crosby, Ovi, Malkin. Crosby, Ovi, Malkin. Tavares, and Taves.
Okay.
You know what? And then Taves or Kane. One or the other.
Who do you pick?
Ovechkin, number 1.
I'm not even right. I just named those 6 guys.
Yeah, just name 5.
Ovechkin, Crosby, Ben, Doughty.
Yep.
And
see, I didn't even name D.
If we're going top 5 players in the league,
Yeah, top
You
players.
can count goalies, too, if
Goalies
you
as
want.
well.
Braden Holtby.
I'm going...
Nice.
Okay, my top 5, as much as it pains me to say, Price, number 1. He's the best player in the league, period.
Ooh, I forgot Patrick Kane, too.
Yes, you know.
It's hard, right?
Price, Doughty, Ben, Ovi, Crosby. There you go. Midnight.
What? Not sold on Ben.
You're not sold on Ben. Okay, why?
When Sagan's out of the lineup, without Sagan, he's not. He doesn't. It's not okay. When Kane goes out of the lineup, the Hawks are still the Hawks, and Taves still gets it done. Ben isn't as flashy. Doesn't get. Okay. He seems like he always needs that guy, and he's always had that guy.
See,
When he first started, it was Richards, and then Richards went away, and he got
Hemsky. Not Hemsky? I don't know.
Not
I don't
Hemsky.
remember.
There was someone else, and then Sagan was there. But that in the between years, he did nothing. Not nothing, but he didn't produce at the. He always seems like he needs a guy. And that's what the guys I named in my head are like. They've put their teams.
Actually, I'll take Ben off my list and put Tavares on my list. I forgot John Tavares.
I almost want to say that Tyler Seguin needs Jamie Benn.
They need each other.
You watch
Batman and
you watch a highlight reel of the best moments of the year. There's Jamie Benn on it. Tyler Seguin's nowhere to be found. I'm not saying that makes him a better player. I'm just saying, to me, Jamie Benn is talented enough. He's a unique player. He's big and he's skilled. He's good enough to get it done by himself. Tyler Seguin in Boston was terrible.
Lackluster.
Not terrible. Lackluster. Take Jamie Benn away from him, I don't think he's nearly as good. Not saying he's a bad player, but I think he's benefiting from the situation he's in.
Good point. Lots more to get to today on Last Man In Podcast. We're going to talk about a trade that occurred last week.
Oh, yeah.
The Stars signed another player.
There's a trade last week?
It was. It happened so long ago.
Wait,
and the
I'm trying to remember.
Blues and Team Canada, along with Czech Republic, named their captains for a World Cup of Hockey.
And I think I nailed all 3.
Are we going to start off with World Cup then?
We're going to start off with the captains.
Captains. Okay, well, Canada, Crosby, captain.
Shocking.
Assistants, Taves and Weber.
Whoa.
We all crushed it, guys. We all crushed it.
I think that's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
And then captain, Czech Republic.
Nailed it.
Thomas Kakanitz.
Kakank.
Jay Bomeister, was that last week or this week?
Either way, he's replacing Duncan Keith.
Duncan Keith, and everyone's like, oh, why not PK? Because it's a short tournament. Why not put him with his teammate?
Lefty.
Why isn't Duncan Keith?
He's still recovering from hip.
Something.
Plus, Bomeister can play with Pietrangelo.
Exactly.
And also the lefty thing.
And
lefty
Petro,
righty.
named captain of the
St. Louis Blues.
Bloom.
Nailed that one, too.
I think we all,
No, I was the only one to pick it.
I picked
Petro.
Alex Steen.
No, you didn't.
I picked Alex Steen.
You said Tarasenko.
And they're also doing
I would never pick Tarasenko. He's awful. Why would I pick him? I don't cheer for Russians.
I don't think you picked Petro. Because I remember saying him after
Really?
you guys picked.
Really? I don't cheer for Russians.
No, Ovi's not Russian. He's superhuman. It's different.
Who else is Russian?
What are you talking about? Ivan the Conqueror Provorov is also superhuman. I just said that. There's different rules for that.
He doesn't cheer for Russians unless he likes them.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a Russia Slurpee cup today as well.
Yeah, of course you did.
Hampus Lindholm replaces Nick Cronwall for Sweden, so Sweden's not going to have a dirty hitting guy on their team this year.
They also brought in Jonas Enroth, who also recently got signed by the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, the Leafs are...
Now...
all the helmets, by the way, get a chance to go look at them. They're pretty sweet.
Did you see Connor Hellebuyck's? goaltender,
I
Matt?
did.
Pretty boring. I didn't like it.
got-
Corey
I thought it was
Schneider's
basic.
pads,
It's got
though.
the team
Yeah,
logo.
Corey Schneider's pads are pretty
I'll
sweet.
tweet. That's the one thing I'll tweet for World.
Nonetheless, on the note of Hampus Lindholm, unless this has changed, there are besides Jacob Trouba, there are quite a few notable RFAs, especially in defensive category. Rasmus Ristolainen, Hampus Lindholm, Jacob Trouba, those are your top three. Then for forwards, obviously you still have Johnny Gaudreau, Valeri Nichushkin for the Dallas Stars.
He's kind of fallen off, though.
He was injured. He's hit the injury bug since his first year.
But
He
also is taken away from Ben and Sagan, and then he's not nearly as good as he was with them, so you kind of are seeing maybe the real player. Not saying he's not good, but
Yeah, well, obviously.
he played with Ben and Sagan his first year. I mean, come on.
I could play Ben and Sagan and put 40 points up. I'm pretty confident in that.
I'm not confident I could put up a point with them.
I'm not saying give up on him. I'm just saying.
You could. Oh, that puck hit my skate. I get the assist. There's your point. That's all that needed to happen. You would get in the way, and Sagan would be like, "Okay, thanks, Kim."
Remember a certain Colby Armstrong?
That's true.
Yeah.
I also don't think Valeri Nichushkin is anywhere near Colby Armstrong.
No, I'm just saying. Miracles happen.
Hey,
true.
well, Kobe Armstrong played with...
Kovalchuk.
Oh, did you
And
see
he
who
scored
assisted
20-some-odd
Datsuk's
goals.
first KHL goal?
Kovalchuk.
Because they're on the same line. What the fuck is that? Oh! And he also got suspended. So he got fined. No, Datsuk got
For
fined.
what?
For what?
Hold on. I took a screenshot of it.
Nonetheless, what I was getting to the point.
player in the NHL gets fined his first KHL game.
The point I was
30.
The point I was trying to drive to with the RFAs is, Jets fans, stop panicking. Other teams have RFAs that aren't signed yet either, and for some teams, they're bigger parts of their team, like Anaheim. Now,
All I want to say, Blake Wheeler didn't get signed till almost the beginning of the season when he was an RFA.
Exactly. Things take time.
So,
Things take time. Be patient. Nonetheless, I want to kind of bring it with this next thought. I just had the thought the other day as I was obviously, whenever I sit down and talk with anybody, it always seems to go to Jets. And as soon as it goes to Jets, it's what the projected lineup's going to be. So last week we talked about projected lineups. And we'll get to the goal songs in just a few minutes here, if you listened to the last week. So, the projected lineup, everyone's got their different say. They all, everyone sees a battle for the bottom six. What I've kind of come to discover is, can our top six for the Jets compete with the best top sixes in the league? Because we know already who the top sixes are, who our top six is most likely going to be, with either Scheifele, Wheeler, Laine, Little, Perreault, or Stafford, or Connor, whoever it might be. Can those guys compete to be the best and beat the best top sixes in the league? And my honest opinion is they can't. They're not there yet.
it's so hard to say because you have Ehlers going into his sophomore season, Laine, who hasn't played a game yet. There's a lot of potential with those two players, but you don't really know what you're going to get. You have to remember too that Lad Little Wheeler was quietly one of the most productive lines in the NHL.
Yes,
it was always top three, I think, in scoring combos for first line, and it never got mentioned because it's Winnipeg. But there's potential, but I'm not going to say they can. I think they will be able to score a lot of goals. I do.
So
I don't know what, but defensively, that's a whole different story.
And kind of where I want to drive this thought is, we have the conversation is driven away from who our top six is going to be, because that's kind of settled in stone for the most part, and it's who our bottom six is going to be, because we have, quote unquote, so many players to fill very small roles, or very few roles. Sorry, 12 players fighting for about 6 spots, and realistically, it's 9 players fighting for 3 spots. Nonetheless, with that being said, what I want to drive the conversation with here is, do you think that the Jets should look at their prospect pool and say which guys they want to dedicate their time to, and say, okay, we believe in, let's say, Scott Kosmachuk. We want him to be a part of this team in 3 years. Nick Patam, we want him to be on this team in 2 years. We want him to replace, not Pearl, but we want him to replace player A when his contract's done. Do you think it's time to say, okay, this is how long we have to commit to them, and then you pick your players you want to commit to, and then try to move guys to get defensemen? Because that's clearly the issue right now with the team, as Dan put it, defensively, it's a whole nother issue.
I think the top four, to me, the top three is really good. Toby Enstrom's kind of the, he's not bad, but I feel like they could do better. It's the bottom 3 or 4, I guess.
So, would you rather have them decide on certain players and just say, okay, we're going to trade Burmistrov along with Scott Kosmachuk and see what they can get? Because both those guys could drive a relatively mediocre price, and you could generate some interest there and just see what the market's allowing you, because that is clearly the issue with the Jets right now, is they don't have enough depth defensively.
I think they've quietly been, to your point, saying we have to commit to this guy this year. We have to commit to, I think they've quietly been doing it because Chris Thorburn, Drew Stafford, Peluso, there's a number of guys who are free agents after this year who won't be back.
Yeah.
And that's when, to me, Nick Petan, Brendan Lemieux,
JC LaPon, maybe? No.
I think Lemieux and Petan and Connor, those are the 3 guys those are the guys that I think will be with them long term.
Okay.
I think they have a lot of guys that will always be the AHL call-up role, Kosmachuk, LaPon, those guys. To me, those are the 3 guys that you're going to see jump in. They'll have Armia, they'll have Lowry. Those are the guys that are going to push up and compete for that bottom 6, to me. Because aside from Kyle Connor, none of those guys I think will ever be top 6.
Yeah.
But their third and fourth line could be very serviceable players.
I like your thought on packaging like Burmistrov and who is it?
Kosmachuk, I said.
And see,
but
Kosmachuk.
no, like just a B-level prospect.
Correct. Yeah, or to even just get like that 4, 5, 6 defenseman, or like maybe even toss in a pick or something. I wouldn't mind that at all. Or try to like bolster up. Go ahead.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt you, but there's nothing wrong with what the Jets. Well, not the Jets. Sorry, what the Thrashers did when they acquired Blake Wheeler, but they also got Mark Stewart, and Mark Stewart has been a very serviceable defenseman for the last 5 years.
Yep.
But his play has declined because you just can't play at that level. There's nothing saying, like if I told you 5 years ago, I want to give you, who would be a good comparison?
That's fine.
What? No. I'm trying to think what would be a good comparison to Alex Burmistrov today, back then. Okay, I want to give you this, for instance. I want to give you, we'll just say Eric O'Dell and Rich Peverly for Mark Stewart, maybe even a third pick in there. Would you be inclined to do that if you're Boston, if you want to get rid of some cap room?
Yeah.
Obviously, right?
Yeah.
So I think the Jets, and really, like everyone was concerned that we'd have a tough year signing guys. There is cap room there that we could absorb somebody on a less favorable contract. I've been an advocate of saying we should move Enstrom. There is plays that need to be made.
I think everyone wants Enstrom moved in the city.
It's not that I think he's a bad defenseman. I just think that the best of his play is behind him. And I have no issue, as I've said on this podcast, said it to my friends, if we say, here, Philadelphia, or here, Pittsburgh, take Enstrom and we'll front the bill. We'll take $4 million of his salary. We'll take, we'll take some of his, just to get him off the books and let new guys come in.
They might have an out with him by not protecting him.
Yeah.
But he has a no-trade clause, so I don't know how that's going to work.
They have to protect no-trade clauses.
So that's why I don't think he'll be... I think he'll be gone by the deadline.
I think
whether they have to keep 50% of his salary, whatever they have to do, in order to be able to protect Trouba, Myers, and Bufflin, he's gone.
Yeah, and I agree wholeheartedly.
He's
but
gone.
Obviously, maybe this year isn't the best year to commit hardcore on a bunch of guys because we don't know what's going to happen with the expansion draft. But yeah,
I think next year... Not this season coming up. Next year, that's when you're going to see the youth come up. Because the guys like Stafford, maybe they keep him at the end of the year. You never know. But like Peluso, Thorburn, Burmistrov, those kind of guys, those guys are free agents, and I don't see them coming back.
But the thing with Stafford, and I'll just... I have no issue if he comes back, but what he has to understand is he's going to come in as a mentorship role, a bottom 6 role, because there are going to be guys better in the lineup. And he's got to realize he's going to be getting paid $1.5 to $2 million for 2 years. It's going to be, a $4 million contract for him.
And that might be what drives him out because he put up 20 goals this year and he was around 40 points.
Yeah,
which is very respectable.
Oh, and it's not. I don't have anything wrong with you, Stafford. I just think that it's.
I just think he'll get money elsewhere that he wants.
Exactly. He can go play for Vancouver.
And let's face it, they aren't going to protect him because they have more important people to protect, and he's afraid anyways.
Yeah, and Jim Benning will go crazy.
And they won't sign him. And I do not see them signing him at any point this year because then they have to protect him.
What now?
So, to me, that's a situation where they'll leave him. If he doesn't get picked up, they'll talk to him, see if they can sign him.
So, I guess to just bring this whole conversation around about, do we all agree the Jets need to do something about their defense? That if going into this season, their number one issue, or the issue with the team is defense, because legitimately we know what's going on with the goaltending. There's no need to worry there, I think.
To me, I would like to see Enstrom and Stewart gone by the deadline. Bring up Kitchen, bring up Morrissey.
What about Melchiori?
Yeah.
You try these guys out?
The Melchiori, he was a Thrasher draft pick. Like, he's going back a ways. Kitchen and Morrissey are the younger, the fresher. They have more potential.
Okay.
Bring these guys up. See what they can do.
Ken?
I think your top three with Bufflin, Myers, and Enstrom is good enough that you can bring up or Bufflin, Myers, Trouba, that you can bring up a couple of young kids.
Yeah.
And
Sherrod's always there for
Sherrod's solid.
stability.
He's nothing special, but you know what? Compared to what they thought he was always going to be, much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm with Dan on this one and saying that you have to make these moves, or we all agree they have to make these moves to allow the team to grow, and they're not growing necessarily by just playing in the AHL. You have to at least let them get a taste before you throw them into the pool.
For sure. So there was a trade in the NHL last week. The Arizona Coyotes active once again, and the Florida Panthers receptive to it. So Lawson Krause, along with Dave Bolland in that awesome contract that he totally earned, are going to Arizona. And going back to Florida, I believe, are a pair of draft picks.
Yeah, they are getting Florida in exchange for a second and third round pick. It's a 2017 third round pick and a conditional 2018 second round pick.
Actually, before we get to this, because I know somebody will be mad at me, and his name is Matt Draper, if I don't mention that both Nikita Kucherov and Nikita Nesterov are still RFAs as well, on that note. So, Jets fans, stop panicking.
Well, there's lots of people who are RFAs at the moment.
But no, the big names, though. Those are big names.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. So,
nonetheless, so yes, Lawson Krause, what do you guys think of this deal?
Good for
Florida got more traffic.
Good for. I mean, Arizona, they're doing what they have to do to meet the cap floor and stay young, and keep rebuilding. I mean, they got Datsuk and Bolland. There's like $12 million right there.
And they got Lawson Krause, who, oh boy, that is a deep prospect pool right now with Arizona. You have Krause, you have Domi, Duclair, Perlini, Strome,
Chychrun, Clayton Bellows.
Clayton Bellows. Is that who they drafted this year with their pick?
That was their highest pick.
Yeah.
He was the Clayton Bellows. I don't know like the exact stats, but like his scoring rate and pace was the highest or one of the highest in U.S. national team development program history. A notable name to come out of that program that pretty much rewrote the record book: Patrick Kane, Austin Matthews, Kyle Connor, Jack Rowsler. Like very high end prospects.
So essentially, this
Jack
summer,
Eichel is another one.
Yeah, of course, good players. Those guys all are.
Yeah.
Essentially, what the Arizona Coyotes have done is they've been able to get Bellows, Chychrun, and Krause all this summer. 3 A-level prospects. What's the future for the Arizona Coyotes?
Well, in that division, where the teams are only getting their top teams are only getting older, essentially, they only have to either play catch or just no. That's a stupid analogy. They have to keep up with Edmonton. That's it. In that division, they have to keep up with Edmonton, and they make playoffs every year.
With the team they had last year, they didn't miss the playoffs by a ton.
Nope, not at all.
So I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs this year, but give him 2 or 3 years.
Dude, the California teams are only getting older, and they have awful contracts.
I will say this. They're going to be a very good team regardless of where they're playing in 5 years.
They're not moving.
And Seattle
that's
should
what you
buckle up and be ready for that team to move there.
They're trying to get out of the lease for their arena already. A year after they signed a 20-year lease.
Hey,
that's not good.
This isn't New York. This is
Brooklyn. Brooklyn,
okay? Nonetheless, Arizona Coyotes are the up and up. They realized they had an imperfect team, and John Chayka has done just an incredible job so far as GM for that team.
They're the new Edmonton Oilers, and then in a few years,
they'll be better than
Edmonton will become the new Edmonton Oilers again.
They'll be Edmonton again.
If Boland's not healthy to play,
He's
the
not.
Coyotes will pay 20% of the contract in hard cost, which is roughly about $3.3 million or $1.1 million, depending on the breakdown of the contract.
What's his injury? Like, did he miss most of the year?
I forget what
I don't know what it is.
Because all I read was that he's not going to play anytime soon.
Yeah.
So it must be
Guys,
significant.
let's be true to our motto here. Let's be wrong with confidence, and all just suggest an injury.
Okay.
And let's talk about how he did it.
Broken leg.
We know it's not broken leg. We would have remembered that.
All I know is I was watching SportsCenter with the volume off, and all I saw was they showed him going crashing into the boards after he scored, and he couldn't stand
injury.
up. No, it looked like it was lower body.
No, going concussion from diving off a swimming
we
pool
go.
diving board, and knocking his head on the back end. That's what happened.
Boom.
Confirmed.
Got it. Just want to. Are we going to move on from this then?
We can move on from it.
Ovechkin got married to a model, and his wife is beautiful.
Of course she is.
She's very beautiful.
Have you seen the man's physique though? Not a hockey player's physique.
Have you seen? I have a picture of a topless Claude Giroux. Dude doesn't have.
Why?
He doesn't have abs. Because it gives me motivation. If anyone's like, "Oh, you don't have a body like a hockey player," be that Claude Giroux. Look at him. Ah!
That's what I say about Phil Kessel.
Oh, Phil Kessel and I have the same physique right now. I have to do nothing, and we have the exact same physique. I just don't get paid millions to play hockey.
You also can't shoot.
Yeah, I can shoot from time to time.
Yeah, go right now. Take one of Dan's
I
hockey
can't.
sticks
I'm
and
injured
shoots.
right now. I'm on
That's
IR.
what I thought.
Lower body injury is what he has, and
God
they're
damn.
hoping he can be healthy so they can buy him out.
Oh, because you can't buy out an injured guy.
Yep.
That's a stupid rule.
Nonetheless,
Yep.
Chayka has done wonders for that Arizona Coyotes team. Go ahead, Cam.
Oh, well, speaking of another desert team, the Las Vegas team has trademarked 3 nicknames. The Desert, Golden, Silver, all of the above, followed by the word Knight. Out of these 3, what would you want the team name to be? Desert Knights, Golden Knights, or Silver Knights?
Golden Knights. Sounds the most regal.
Golden Knights. Isn't
Golden
that
Knights.
a restaurant in Vegas already?
Golden,
I don't know.
Golden Fork?
See, that would also
That's a
be
Royal
like
Fork buffet.
No, there's a golden something in the States.
Golden Corral.
Golden Corral.
yeah.
Best steaks, change your life.
Yeah.
Golden Corral is a place you go when you want a steak, but you don't want to pay the price of a steak.
Yep.
It's true.
Golden Crow. We're looking for sponsorships.
Please.
I was thinking we should also kind of throw it out there to Domino's because we use that student deal all the time. So hollow one time at Domino's. We take
Shout
pizza
out one time.
sponsorships.
One time.
We are all still students at U of M. Swear to God.
Yep.
I
That's what it
definitely
says.
went to the University of Manitoba. Most certainly.
Yeah.
I did.
I have been there a couple times. It's real.
It's real.
I got kicked out of a class with Dan there. So yes,
Did you?
it is
For
real.
what?
Because the people behind us had their shoes off and wouldn't shut up.
Playing
and the,
footsie. It was
and the teacher
disgusting.
thought it was us.
And it was, I'm pretty sure it was trade, or no, it wasn't trade deadline day, but it was.
It was around then, though.
Yeah.
It was roll up the rim because I went to Tim Hortons and bought a coffee, and I won a free coffee, so.
And we sat in there and watched stupid YouTube videos.
Thank you, Mr. Whoever it was. Giesbrecht.
Oh, there it is.
that
Wow,
guy.
you remember.
Shout out one time.
Never forget Mr.
I actually
Popsicle.
remember where we were sitting too. We were sitting on the right hand side of the lecture hall,
Yep.
and I'm just like, because he said
I kinda
green
wanted to
jacket.
I kind of wanted to get up and be like, it was them, but I just kind of looked at him. I'm like, you know what, whatever. He's basically telling me to leave. That's fine. I get to go to Tim Hortons. It's okay.
And it was like one of those moments where we just kind of, because we were sitting with other people new, and it was just hilarious. It was a funny
Green
moment
jacket.
in our
Who's
lives.
wearing a green jacket?
Dan was.
Oh, your Eagles one.
No, it was like a winter jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's a green jacket. Get out.
Yeah.
Pretty much. He's like green.
I've never done this before.
Yeah, sure you haven't.
Fucking dick. Pardon me. That's...
Suck it, Giesberg.
Never done this year.
Yeah, that's... Whatever.
We're going off the rails. Let's
We
bring
are.
It, let's
We
bring
are.
it back on to signings. Big signings this week. Big signings.
Are you talking about PTOs?
Big signings.
No, there's a couple actual
Big
signings.
signing.
I know. Brandon Peary was signed.
Yeah, how many?
1 year.
How much?
1 point something.
One.
1.2.
Two. The who?
Rangers.
New York Rangers.
Who used to play on the Rangers that signed this week? Dominic Moore. Good answer.
Who do you sign with?
1 year, $900K with the Bruins.
That's a good signing. He's
That's
a
gonna be, when
very...
you guys are talking about Stafford contract, that's going to be a Stafford contract.
Do you know who else was signed this week? Or
He's a
last
very
week, I
underrated
guess?
player.
What's that?
Yuri Hudler.
Yeah.
With the Dallas Stars.
Yeah, because Dallas needs more offensive weapons.
Hey.
They just need guys that don't wear their shoes at award shows.
What?
You didn't see that?
Fill me in. I don't watch TV.
Yuri Hudler, I guess, took his shoes off at the NHL Awards 2 years ago.
Hudler's one of those guys where, like,
Strange.
on his own, you're like, yeah, he's okay, but you put him with a good player, 30 goals. Guaranteed.
Yeah, Goodrow. Monahan.
Fuck.
Didn't he have like 72 points? That's the year he won the Bing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Because Dallas doesn't have enough offensive weapons.
Yeah, he wasn't wearing his shoes for some reason. I can't remember.
Who did Dallas
I
sign
think
for?
Dallas has just realized that their defense is not very good, so they're like, you know what? Instead of getting a bunch of defensemen, we're just going to keep scoring goals.
8 goals a game.
It's fine.
Minimum. So Jim Neal said 8 goals minimum. Another person who got signed today was actually GM of the Carolina Hurricanes, Ron Francis.
He got
Extended.
Signed? Oh.
Extension.
Yeah.
2 years?
Signed an extension. Yeah, till the 2018-19 season. Yeah.
Oh, did you guys see the... Because Jakub Voracek, he's friends with Andrei Pavlik. They went to the
yes.
Springsteen concert in Philly.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Voracek tweeted, he took us to the fucking promised land. # the booze.
Pavlik went with him?
Yeah, they're best friends. You should probably
Czech
follow Jakub
Or
Voracek.
because they're Slovakian, right? Or
They're-
Czech Republican?
They're Slovakian.
Slovakian?
100%.
No, they're Czech Republican.
Yeah.
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 Fuck.
We're
They're
not
both on
wrong.
the Czech team for
We're
a long
not
time.
wrong. It used to be the same country, okay?
It's true. They used to be called
Say
Czechoslovakia.
Trinidad, Tobago. Same place.
Same place.
Same place.
They are geographically located in the same area.
Exactly. Would you take offense to someone calling you someone from Saskatchewan?
Yes.
I'm sure then they take super big offense.
Oh, they do. Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. It's like, have you ever heard? Like, you know how, like, we think of Sweden and Finland as pretty cool countries? They fucking hate each other.
They don't.
They do not like each other.
I had a Swedish friend who he had mentioned that.
Swedish.
Well, he was a guy at work. But
Swedish.
anyways, he was saying that Finland won bronze at the Olympics, right? And Canada was playing Sweden in the gold.
Yeah.
No, Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden played Canada for gold in 2014, right? You're
Correct.
talking- Yes, and Finland played the USA, and the USA just kind of gave up.
Correct. Okay, I'm getting this backwards. Either way, when Finland, one of them played, I think Finland was
They
playing.
would have played Sweden in the semifinals.
Either way, they were more excited. He told me that whenever Finland is going for like a medal or something, and their team is going for a bigger medal, the bigger deal is that Finland shits the bed than if Sweden wins.
So what he's saying essentially was in 2014 they were cheering for the United States to beat Finland more than they were cheering for Sweden to beat Canada.
Oh, they knew they didn't have a chance against Canada. You got to be patriotic, but they were like, yeah, we knew, and then he was
Nicholas
like,
Backstrom thing
allegedly did drugs, and he's like, oh yeah, because Backstrom was going to have a big impact on that game for sure, right? Okay, we have questions. If we're trailing that off the real
Yeah, let's do questions. Oh wait, before questions, goal songs and entrance songs. We gotta.
Okay, well, I'll stick with my original goal song of "Busy Earnin'" by Jungle.
I'm sticking with mine. Hell yeah, by Rev Theory.
What did I
You
pick?
hold on. You said "Holiday" by Green Day.
Yeah, no, going with Hell yeah by Rev Theory.
Hell
Or
yeah,
you can do
Rev-
the NHL 16 edition where they can't say hell, so they say hey. Because hell is such a bad word.
Fucking censorship.
EA Sports is the most stingy when it comes to censorship. They censor everything.
Yep.
Even if it's not a swear, but it sounds offensive, they're like, nope, change it.
Yeah,
Give me a hey, give me a yeah.
That's legit.
Hey, yeah.
That's legit what it is.
Stand up right now.
Give me a
It's
hey, give me a hey.
yeah.
That's legit what it
That's
is.
not
Stand up
terrible.
right now.
That's not the worst. Dan, goal song you sticking?
What was my goal song?
Your goal song was "Glorious" by Bobby Roode.
Yes.
Glorious.
Okay,
100%.
now if you're coming out the tunnel, this is my song. I legit wrote down like I think I have them here. Like I got pages upon pages. Let me just prove it. Those are my Snapchat stories. Ignore those. Playoff picks. Page. There we go. Look at. I did research. This
Holy shit.
Jesus, you were bored.
Intro song.
there you go. Goal song. Okay, I have a lot of them, but a great intro song, "Throne" by Bring Me the Horizon.
Okay.
It's a banger. I also have a few intro songs, and I'm like, oh, it'd be so good. And then, like, 10 seconds into the song, there's a swear, and I'm like, well, no, never mind.
They can cut it out.
Can't have the kids. Can't have the kids for that.
They just bleep it.
Dan, intro song.
I could give a suggestion to Dan for this.
Give me your suggestions.
Okay, this one. Where is it? Metalingus by Alter Bridge.
That's a good one.
Killer intro song.
The one that always got me going as a kid when the Moose did it for playoffs, "Kickstart My Heart" by Motley Crue.
Ooh, da-da-da.
It's just the perfect.
Da-da-da.
Oh, fuck. I had a Boston song stuck in my head.
Shipping up to Boston?
No, a
More-
Boston song.
more than a
Shipping up
feeling.
to
No,
Boston.
no,
I just said
that's
More,
not
more than a feeling.
Yeah.
More than a feeling.
I feel like that's
I
your
still
victory
think-
song.
I still think quintessential, like, obviously "Jump" by Van Halen is one of
No,
those songs.
band.
Another
Band.
great song for entrance, "Crazy Train" by Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay, well, we're looking for intro. I got "Bring Me the Horizon." I'm sticking with "Busy."
I'm going. It's between either "Crazy Train," "Thunderstruck" by AC/DC, and I feel like "Thunderstruck" would only work with
Like
Tampa Bay Lightning.
intro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like when they're coming out the tunnel.
Oh, okay.
Like you've heard the good intro, like live intro to "Thunderstruck."
Yeah.
Where like they just start with the drums and
Yeah.
then you have Angus Young's guitar. Oh, unreal.
Dark horse pick, because I just thought of it, because I just started listening to the song. New Alter Bridge song called "Show Me a Leader." It's like the first minute and a half is like this crazy like slow build guitar. It almost sounds like Spanish rodeo, and then it just builds up to like guitar solo and like a build up, and then they just smash the drums, and it's like the crazy metal riff, and then it's just like intense from
headbanger.
there.
Is that your intro?
So you like build it up, and then when the riff starts, they come out.
What's the song called?
"Show Me a Leader"? Brand new.
Okay, I'm taking that one as yours.
That'd be good. I just thought of it in my head right now.
You know what? We're gonna do "Welcome to the Jungle," Guns N' Roses.
Okay, hold on.
That's a good one too.
Baby Jungle.
Whenever that song comes on the radio, I always get hyped. That and "Bohemian Rhapsody," but let's be honest. It's Queen.
Who doesn't get hyped up? With that
Yeah,
one?
exactly.
I'm trying. Oh, another one. Dan and I. It would work great just for the intro because Winnipeg could get behind it because it's got a great crowd participation intro. Downfall of Us All, A Day to Remember.
Fair enough.
And that's the intro. Like the guys are doing it, and then the lead singer is just like, "Let's go!" And then anyway. All right, so your intro song is
"Welcome to the Jungle," Guns N' Roses.
And Dan is "Show Me Your Leader," Alter Bridge.
Okay. Questions. Let's go to
Questions. Let's get at it. All right. It's from Racist Fan Rocks.
By the way, we welcome all questions from everyone.
We did have questions last week as well, but I deleted them. I'm sorry.
There you go.
My intro song would be the Undertaker theme song, and my goal horn would be "Glorious." Fuck.
Okay.
Out of the park.
Yeah.
When I saw the Undertaker, like, oh.
Wait, whoa.
There's nothing more intimidating than that.
Dan?
Dude, I heard that.
What
I
do you
heard that
do?
on my
Whoa.
playlist the other
Guys.
day, and I'm like, and I stopped for a second. I'm like, oh my god.
I think we're forgetting the real thing here.
But
Dan, was that you that commented that?
Racist Fan Rocks, and there's two K's in Rocks, and Racist is RACS.
We did have the same goal song, so I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, the winning goal horn would be "Enter Sandman" by Metallica.
That's a good one.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
That'd be a good intro
that
song,
was
too.
the comment, so
That'd be a good intro
That,
song.
that's. I thought we had questions.
I thought it was a question.
Do you read anything?
I don't read. No, I don't
No?
even know how to do my job.
Do you read things?
Do I read things?
We leave you with all the work, Cam, and you tell me you can't do all the work.
Can't do all that.
All Dan and I have to do is show up and look pretty for nothing.
I already have to show up. I just stay in my house.
That's true.
We come to him. Yeah.
I have to pick you up. That is the most of the work I have to do for this podcast. Mm-hmm. You can't even do the job we've given you.
You know what?
At least today, I can show up.
Yeah, I think I've talked the least on this podcast out of any podcast. I was sitting here, I'm like, I think I've been real quiet today. I just have nothing to join
Nothing
in.
to bring to the table.
Nothing to bring.
How about the Flyers?
How about the Flyers? There's ESPN's releasing like top prospect rankings. They have 4 of them in there. So
You know who was ranked
Eagles? 3-0.
You know who? It's preseason, Dan. No one cares.
Yep.
You know who was ranked number 1 for their prospect pool?
I hope Austin Matthews.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Willie Hockey.
Had the number 1 prospect.
Jets got to be 2.
Arizona. Them or Arizona.
You have to keep in mind, lots of the Jets prospects are migrating up, so they're gonna drop out of that top because Hellebuck, Ehlers, Laine, Connor, Lemieux. These are their top prospects, but these guys are starting to come up.
We're starting to see the transition occur. I don't think there's another team in the NHL that's going through this kind of like middle level. Like everyone's always had like, you look at the Flyers, for instance. They've had Giroux and Voracek for a few seasons now. There hasn't been this integration of, okay, let's bring the young players up and like have like that youth movement. A lot of the great teams haven't had that youth movement for a lot of years. Like the Chicago Blackhawks, they've never really had a youth movement other than it's like, here's Taves and Kane, they're the best.
Hey, we got this new guy. Let's see what he does, Brandon Saad. Hey, we got another new guy. Let's see what he does, Artemi Panarin. Hey, we got another guy, Trevor Van Riemsdyk. And then this year it's going to be, hey, we got another new guy. Where'd you get him? We don't know. We just showed up and we signed him.
I shouldn't say this or read too much into it because it was purely just like a simulation. But I read an article that they did like some kind of a statistical analysis over the next 5 years of who the next 5 Stanley Cup champions, finals, whatever was going to be.
Give it to me.
I will say, Winnipeg is in the final 3 times. They win it twice and they lose it once. The last 5 years from now, it's Winnipeg, Toronto in the final.
Oh God, if that actually happens,
it won't be though. Because Flyers are going to take you out.
I'm pretty sure they beat Toronto and they beat I forget who, but they lose to Montreal or Florida.
Oh, this is a lie.
Okay, it
better be Florida.
It was Florida, Montreal, Winnipeg twice, and I think St. Louis. Those were your 5 champs.
So,
no, Washington. It was just I don't know what they did to do the
I think Dan
prediction, but
Dan just passed out and had a killer.
I did. No, it was real. I don't know how much actual stats
the Jets went into it though. And the Leafs actually happen. I'm sure we talked about this before, but nonetheless,
it's got to be the Leafs. They have to win first.
No,
they have to.
I agree, 100%. Obviously, the Leafs have to win. I will not. I have to watch that in the solidarity of my. If it's Game 7, Toronto Winnipeg, I have to watch that in the solidarity of my home.
In important games for Flyers, I watch by myself.
The only reason
I can't deal with other people.
Yeah, because last time I watched an important game with someone, something happened.
Like that wouldn't have. Oh, you're blaming us?
Yes, I'm blaming that.
You're blaming the Leafs collapse.
Yes. If I was at home by myself,
I remember what.
Could have enjoyed that pain alone.
Dan tweeted that at us. He's like, "Hey, remember
on Facebook.
This? No, God, no, no."
It's been 3 years. I want to get over it. It's a bad breakup, okay?
I honest to God,
I don't need reminders.
I watched that video 4 times in a row. Just looped it back and forth.
Honestly, you know what it is? You know what that fucking video and like people that bring it up? It's like, hey, Greg. I actually took a video of when the girl that you are in love with broke up with you, and you can see your heart shatter into a million pieces. Here's that video. Year passes. Hey, Greg, remember that video I have? I don't want to watch it. Here's that video again. And it just keeps reminding me, year after year, that it occurred.
All the Leafs have to do is make the playoffs again, then it'll be erased.
In 7 years?
Okay, well, if it came down to the Leafs and Jets, I'm cheering for Leafs solely, not solely. I like the Leafs more a little bit, kind of.
Austin Matthews, Willie Hockey.
Hold on. I like them both for other reasons. But the Leafs, it's been so long, and like, okay.
You say that now, but if your hometown team is in the Stanley Cup final, you're going to probably cheer.
Yeah, I love being the evil guy.
I know you do, but it'd be hard
the one time I will not cheer for them to win a cup, the Winnipeg Jets, that is. is if they play the Toronto Maple Leafs. Any other team. Hell, if it's Montreal, Winnipeg, I'll be the most patriotic Jets fan you've ever seen. Because there's no way in hell I am watching the Montreal Canadiens lift a Stanley Cup. It's not happening. I was 2 years old last time it happened.
They are your Blues?
I've never seen it with my own eyes that I can remember.
You don't want the Blues to win?
No, God, no.
So if it can never happen in my lifetime, I'm a happy camper.
The Blues, see, it's like the most evil team has won twice, so I can't, or more than that in my lifetime. By two, I've seen it happen.
It's like I'm a Colts
the
fan.
Penguins.
And I hate Tom Brady a lot, and every time Tom Brady wins, a little bit of me dies. I feel all of me will
that's
die.
When they complain to Jim Irsay, and then Jim Irsay gets the rules changed just so it impacts his team better. Yeah.
Nonetheless, if I see the Montreal Canadiens ever win a Stanley Cup, all of me will die. I will not.
On.
I'll just sit there.
Greg will just
as
disappear.
all the Habs fans are like, "Hey, Toronto can't win." I'll just sit there and be like, "I'm gonna go insane." The most idiotic fan base in hockey, the Montreal Canadiens.
I would argue that the top two are playing each other if that's the final, but that's just
Who? Winnipeg, Montreal.
Jets and Habs fans.
Oh God, yeah.
Jets are okay because I can deal with that. Habs fans are rough.
Habs fans they're a different level of stupid. At
Hey,
least
that's
like
coming from the third ranked guy, the Flyers.
Flyers.
So,
and then
it's
number
okay.
4 is Toronto.
We're all idiots.
We're all
maybe
dumb.
not 10. I'm not throwing down on the bus. We're the top two.
I think Toronto's number 1. They threw waffles on the ice.
That's hilarious. Hold on.
And they also throw their own team's jersey on the ice.
Hey,
they are the worst.
Hey, what did Atlanta? Who were they playing against? Didn't Atlanta throw waffles on the ice first?
No, the Leafs are playing the Thrashers in Toronto, and they were getting smoked, and fans started throwing waffles on the ice.
I knew it had to involve.
They also throw the team's jersey on the ice, so you know what? That to me, they are the worst.
How the hell did they get a box
Habs
of
fans are-
waffles in their building?
Habs
It
fans
still
are-
doesn't make sense. The mystery has never been solved. Why the fuck were they allowed waffles?
Who had waffles on him? He's like, you know what? I was gonna save these for later, but fuck it.
You know
Was
what?
one of the giveaways, hey, here's a box of Eggo waffles. Oh, really? I really wanted that watch or the $50 gift card you were giving away to Safeway. But no, I'll take this box of Eggo blueberry waffles.
You know what the best thing is? At the Jets game, you could actually do it now because they sell a chicken waffle sandwich.
Dude, did
What?
you have it?
I liked it.
Too much
like
too
that.
much doughy.
The worst part about the Jets is, like, it's not a big enough arena, so if you do something like that, you're gone.
Oh,
You're
God,
gone
yeah.
immediately.
halfway across the arena, I can tell you who threw a beer. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, it's that guy in
guy
the
right
blue
there.
shirt. No, he's trying to walk away. No, I can
No.
still see him. There
The
he
guy in the Jets jersey. Which guy in the Jets jersey? That guy. You're not singling the guy in the Jets jersey. Legitimately, everybody in this city pretty much has a Jets jersey at this point in time.
Oh, they mopped the floor in fan base to money spent. But what I was going to say was if it came down to the Leafs, I was listening to a podcast recently, and they were saying he was on the Rangers when they won. And the gentleman, it was Kiprios, he was on the Dangle podcast. Great podcast.
I haven't heard that.
Oh, it's fine. But anyways, I was listening to it, and he said when the Rangers won, did they win at home?
They won 94 at home.
Yeah, okay. He said there was a sign in the crowd he'll never forget. He said one of the signs was, I can die in peace now. Like, you're going to have that. Whether
Did he
it's
play
Jets,
for Rangers or Canucks?
For Rangers.
Rangers.
For
So
Rangers.
he's a Stanley Cup champion?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has a ring.
Yeah. But anyways, he said one of the signs is I can die in peace now. You'd have that. You'd have people have been generations have passed without the Leafs ever winning. I want that. The Jets, they're definitely gonna probably win a cup in our lifetime. I'd like to say the Leafs too, but I want the Leafs before the Jets, is what I'm getting.
I
One of
can
my-
never cheer for Toronto because they're always the center of everything and it bugs me.
Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily themselves, the media thinks that they're the almighty most important.
Well, they're the biggest fan base. They're the biggest base for everything. So why do you not cater to the majority? That's the problem. Is the media is catering to the majority. Now, one of the best things I've ever heard, and it goes in line with this Kiprios thing, is if you're a fan of a fan base that, let's say, hasn't won in years.
Or ever even.
Or ever. And you're our age, so around 25, in that 20 to 30 era, you don't want to win. Like, you want to see your team win. But here's the thing. And one of the... Dave Wheeler put this in great words, because they were talking about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, how they haven't won in 20 years.
25?
25 years.
This is the 25th year.
Yeah. He said it's not so much for the people who are growing up with the team, the 20 to 40-year-olds. It's for the people who are 80 and haven't seen this team win in forever. So the people that were 40 that were watching the Leafs play in 1967, who are 90 now and have been fans and were gloating in their 30s. They're like, yeah, Leafs best team ever because they won in 62, 63, 64, and 67. And gloating because they were so good.
Or for people like me who were born 2 months after they won their last Grey Cup and they haven't won one since.
Exactly. But that's what it's about, right? It's about, as much as you want to see it, you got to think, like, then that's just a tremendous story. You got to think, for the people that have followed the sport forever, even think back to guys like Oilers fans who loved the dynasty through the 90s, or Islanders fans that have been there and are now like in their 70s and haven't seen a team win for a very long time. It's for them. And you got, like, I think that's that's where sports really gets to people, is the fact that it's, as much as you're like, yeah, I'm a huge fan, you've got to look and you got to say, it's from generations, before us.
Generation past that
Yeah.
it's for them.
It's more
You'll
or less
get your
for them.
time, hopefully.
Okay, best example I can put it forth. Imagine your grandpa, Chicago Blackhawks fan, watches them win in 2010. You're not telling me he's not excited about that and he's not crying because he has not seen his team win for years, 50 years, or it was 49 years. In between,
because he had the taste of it. He felt it once and had it ripped away.
A long time.
A long time.
Yeah.
I feel like having it and then getting it ripped away hurts more than never knowing what it's like. Like for us, we've never seen a professional sports team in Winnipeg win anything in our lifetime. But
the Gold Eyes, technically.
Okay, professional. Let's get real.
But realistically,
there's people that have seen it and they know what it feels like. Like for us, we're like, oh yeah, I bet it would be fun, but we don't know.
The other thing, too, to your point, it's like when the Jets were here originally. Like, we had something great here, and then it got ripped away, and it felt like a piece of Winnipeg was just gone. Like, our economy suffered for the better part of a decade after that, just because, like, we had no, like, stability, because that was what people did, and they lost themselves. And, that's the one thing you got to think of when you move a franchise. You got to think what level that has on the people there. Arizona, people aren't going to care. Winnipeg, people care. And that's why, like, when the Jets came back, as cool as it was for us, it was better for the people that grew up with the Jets when they were in the 80s. And you've seen how excited those people are.
Let's go ask any of our parents or, like, older family members what they think of the Calgary Flames and Edmonton Oilers. Because let me tell you what,
they do not like
don't
them.
like them.
Exactly.
All right.
We will be back next week on Monday. So, you know what? There's going to be news next Tuesday. I can almost guarantee you.
Yep.
There's going to be something that happens next Tuesday.
Something big.
Something like
huge. When does the World Cup start?
Next week, I think.
Will the preseason start next week?
Okay.
Yeah.
There's that. We'll have all the World Cup coverage for you guys. Let's make World Cup predictions next week on this show on Monday. Tune back. If you want to ask us questions, hit us up on Gmail, lastmaneinpc@gmail.com. Leave a comment on YouTube, Last Man In Podcast. Get the podcast wherever you get your podcast, whether that's Google Play or iTunes, and we will see you guys next week.